So when I was 22 years old, I turned $8,000 into $134K investing into a cryptocurrency called Stellar Lumens. Stellar Lumens went from like 3 cents to 93 cents or something like that. And I went from $8,000 to $134K at the height of it. And during this time, I had concocted this amazing plan where basically Bitcoin was on this run. And, I had thought, I'm going to sell half of my Stellar Lumens when Bitcoin hits $20,000. I figured by then, if I could sell half of it, it'd be a pretty sweet start to my early 20s. However, if you guys remember this, Bitcoin never actually hit $20,000. It hit 19,800 or something like that. Then it sold off. Then people were selling because people were selling. And then suddenly Bitcoin was like $6,000 again. And I pretty much lost all of the money that I had made. It went from $134K all the way back down to like $5,000. So what did I learn from this experience? Number one, I got way too greedy. Apparently 10x was enough for me. And number two, the reason why Bitcoin never hit $20,000 is because everybody else had the exact same plan as me. Because $20,000 was such a round psychological landmark of a number, enough people had the same plan that everybody just started selling, and then it never actually fully reached that $20,000. And, essentially that's what happened. Now, why do I tell you this on a real estate channel? Because today I'm hearing the same idea over and over and over and over and over. I talk to many people on a weekly basis. I currently hold just over 20 listings right now who are interested in selling their property, and I'm hearing pretty much the same thing out of every single person. Every time I give somebody the price of what I think their home is worth, obviously they're not very happy to find out. Then the next thing I hear right after I give the seller what I think their home is potentially worth right now is, well, if that's the case, I'm just gonna wait until interest rates go down because then the prices will be higher. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a very good chance that they are exactly right for thinking this way. However, fundamentally speaking, and speaking from experience, I can tell you that this is a recipe for lower prices. When everybody is thinking the same thing, the opposite of that always tends to happen. Why? Because that's how supply and demand works. When there's too many people on one side of the equation, the other side will prevail. When there's too many people on the supply side going in one direction, then the other direction is going to fall. It's the supply and demand teeter-totter, right? There is a chance when interest rates come down that prices will actually go lower for a certain time frame first before they go up. When rates go down, not only will you have all of these people that have been holding off for years now, finally listing their homes pretty much sounds like all at the same time, but you're gonna have all of the people who have been basically trapped in their primary residence for the last 3 years, holding an interest rate of 3%, and they wanna move and they need to move, but they can't move because if they do, they're gonna go from 3% to 5.5%, or maybe they just can't afford to take on the new balance of the mortgage for the house that they want to buy. If it's like an extra $300,000 loan they need to take out at 6%, it just doesn't make sense. So a lot of people have just been trapped in those homes. And when interest rates come down, you're going to have those people likely listing and selling their homes too. Now, of course, the second type of seller also needs to buy. So on a supply and demand basis, it's a wash. But before they can buy, they're going to sell first. Now, all of this being said, am I saying prices are going to go lower? No. I actually think we're going to be in a market that's moving back upward sometime in 2025, just due to the fact that we're not building enough homes. There's a lot of, extra people living here. Talked about it 100 times. All I'm saying is higher prices don't necessarily need to be the outcome of lower interest rates. And in fact, the central bank typically only lowers interest rates when something really bad happens. And when something really bad happens, you're going to see, real estate valuations fall along with interest rates. And in fact, they typically lower the interest rates pretty fast in those types of scenarios. So all I'm saying is I wouldn't put all of my eggs in one basket banking on prices being higher just because interest rates are lower. I know there's a lot of sellers out there right now that, could sell. Maybe they just want a little bit more money. Maybe they're break even. Maybe they're not making as much money as they want to make. And they're holding it because they believe that they will get a better price in a year when the interest rates go down. I'm just here to say that you know, it's completely in the realm of possibilities that that isn't the case. Am I telling you to sell right now? Am I telling you to do anything at all? No, I'm just proposing the idea that the outcome you're very certain of happening doesn't have to happen. Take it from a guy who lost a lot of money, super painful. I already had my entire life planned out with that money, and then I never got it. So I do know from experience that this is what happens. But at the end of the day, I'm just a realtor and not an economist, so maybe don't listen to me. But if you do want to listen to me, subscribe to the channel, like this video. I'm that Agent Kelly. I'm making moves to move you. Peace.